Welcome to Mechanic. Today we're going to look at one of the most common problems that you see on engines, gasoline engines, and even diesels with direct injection. This is very common problems on these direct injections, and it can affect all, including BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Volkswagen, anything, even Honda and Toyota that have direct injection. And the problem is that when you have direct injection, you don't spray the fuel right in front of the valve, which sometimes that usually keeps the valve pretty clean. You spray directly in the cylinder past the valves. So what happens is the valves never see any kind of cleaning, and then what happens over time, you get all these kind of carbon buildup that you see in this one right here. And what that does is, if it's too much of it, that what could happen is that the valve will not close properly, and then you lose compression. And that, if you lose compression, then you might end up getting a misfire because that compression inside the cylinder is not high where it should be. It's not high enough, and the mixture is not compressed enough to ignite. Even though there's fuel going to it, there is spark. So if you're chasing something like a very difficult to find, um, let's say misfire, do a compression test first before you take anything apart. But that's something to also check, and it does help a lot of times if you run a carbon buildup cleaner. You start the engine and then remove one of uh, the hoses to the intake manifold, and then run some carbon buildup cleaner through that 15-20 minutes. Let it sit for another 15-20 minutes, and then go take the car for a good drive. That a lot of times will clean. I can bring the car back to normal operation and get rid of that misfire. You might have to do it a couple of times because it's very slow process. The only other option is to remove the head and clean the valves, but that usually can be very expensive. So hopefully this helps, and thank you for watching Mechanic, where you can be the mechanic.